Hi there! Welcome to another edition of Husband Plus Wife. This is the husband only edition. Full disclosure, we are still not husband and wife, although the day is quickly approaching. So this is the long awaited Scotch edition. I've been dragging around all of my Scotch bottles as I moved, and they're in the way. And so the thing about Scotch is, I guess it's been 2 years since I sort of got into Scotch. I used to be a little bit of a beer connoisseur, so I thought I'd try my hand at Scotch. The thing about Scotch is there's a lot of them, and they taste really different, and some of them are pretty gross. So it really depends what you like, but I'm going to try and give you a little bit of a rundown of what they taste like, as well as sort of what they cost, and maybe you can go out and try some Scotch for yourself. So sort of the baseline where I'll start is Glenfiddich. So this is 12-year-old Scotch. It's a single malt Scotch, so what that means is that it's produced one batch at a time. So the idea is that it all tastes the same. Single malt Scotch, you've probably heard people, it sounds kind of snobby, but it's much better than a blended Scotch. I'm not going to tell you why. If you taste some of them, you'll know exactly why. So Glenfiddich is kind of the standard. A lot of Scotch snobs are kind of down on it. It's sort of the biggest Scotch in the world, so it's kind of mass produced, but it is well made, and to be honest, it's still one of my favorites. So I think this is about 45, 50 bucks a bottle at the liquor store. Apparently in Canada we do pay a lot for our Scotch, but it is worth it, and especially if you take it a little easy on it. So usually most of the Scotch I drink now, I'll drink it with a little bit of ice. What's it called? Not cream soda, not soda water. Club soda, that's what it is, club soda. Or if Perrier, if mineral water is on sale, the lime stuff is pretty good. And usually I throw a little slice of lime in there if I'm feeling exciting. So this is, you can't do much better for anywhere near the price than Glenfiddich. The liquor store calls it medium flavored, and I believe fruity, I think is what they call it. So you'll see a lot of different words thrown around with Scotch. Fruity, herbal, peaty, smoky, caramel, vanilla, all kinds of stuff. You have to sort of drink a lot of them before you can compare them. So this is a good place to start. If you like Glenfiddich, then you can probably keep going in Scotch. So next is Glenlivet 12. Just a tad more expensive than Glenfiddich. I still prefer the green bottle. So Glenlivet 15. I was fortunate enough, one day I was in the liquor store and this was on sale. So that's the only reason I got to purchase a more mature Scotch. Generally 12 years old is sort of the youngest Scotch you'll find. More expensive, older the Scotch. Or rather, the older the Scotch, the more expensive it is. Although there are some, I have seen a Macallan 10, which is delicious and way more expensive, something like 90 bucks a bottle. So I think this might be regular, almost 70 bucks. I got it for less. Don't be alarmed, all these Scotches I'm showing you, I have consumed these over a couple of years, so it hasn't been recently. So overall, not really worth the extra cost as far as I could tell. Now this guy, I don't know how to pronounce it. Auchinleck. What do you think? What's it called? Or since it's Scotch, Auchinleck. I got nothing. I don't know what it's called. This was delicious. This was some good stuff. I might have even drank some of this straight or just on the rocks. It was more expensive than the Glenlivet and the Glenfiddich. I don't remember how much more, but it was less than the Balvenie, which I'll show you later. But this is probably my favorite so far. It's probably more of a treat because of the cost of it. So again, I'd probably just go with the Glenfiddich because it's a lot cheaper and just as tasty as far as I can tell. So the Balvenie, this is called a double wood. It's aged 12 years as well. I kind of have trouble remembering what this tasted like. This one, it's called double wood because they age it in whiskey casks and then they age it in sherry casks as well. A lot of the scotches you'll see they're aged in a sherry cask to give them some sort of extra flavor. I don't think this was peaty. When you hear somebody say peaty or smoky, it means exactly, sorry, peaty and smoky are basically the same thing. What it means is it tastes like drinking a campfire. Not my deal. A lot of people are crazy about it. Not for me. So the Balvenie, I remember it being more expensive. I don't really remember it being something that I loved a lot.
Okay.
So finally, I'll just mention it. Glenfiddich is about the cheapest single malt that I've seen. McClellan's, they make 4 styles. This is like $32.80 a bottle, so it's a lot cheaper. It's not bad, but it's not that great. So most of the scotches I'm showing you, I'm just drinking with club soda, so you do get a lot of the flavor of the scotch. As I go on, I sort of, if I like it, I drink it with a lot less soda or a lot less mineral water. These guys make 4 different styles. There's a Speyside, Highland, a Lowland, and an Islay or an Islay. I think it's Islay. It's based on regions of Scotland where they're made. They generally have really different flavors. This is a Speyside, and the reason I got that version was because that is the style of Glenfiddich, and so far that's what I like. So Speyside's not one of the peaty ones. It's not one of the smoky ones. It really does, when you get into something peaty, it tastes like drinking a campfire. It just doesn't do it for me. So $32.80. If you're out buying something for a Scotch lover, this is probably not going to make them happy. But if you're going to make a mixed drink, like maybe a whiskey sour, or if you are going to mix it with something, I don't really do that with Scotch. I usually stick with a Canadian whiskey. Or if you're making whiskey sours, bourbon is fantastic because it's naturally sweet. But it's worth a try, although it's probably not. Just go for the Glenfiddich. Spend the 14 bucks. It's worth it. As I mentioned, there's all kinds of different sort of flavors and words you're going to see thrown around. This is a honeyed with golden highlights for the color, and they're talking about it smells like mint, pine, fine dark chocolate. The finish is powerful, complex, and unforgettable. There's all kinds of goofy words thrown around. As you try some of the scotches, you will start to taste some of the things in Glenfiddich. If you're sniffing it, especially if you sniff them side by side, you will smell like some vanilla or some caramel. I don't know. Scotch is interesting. Give it a try. Lots of people are kind of like, I hate Scotch. It's an acquired taste. It takes a little bit of time. Definitely my recommendation. Start with Glenfiddich. Start with a little bit of club soda and some ice. Throw a slice of lime in there, and it's a sipping drink. It's not meant to drink quickly. Cream of the crop so far, and I've tried a bunch of other scotches that I can't really recall the names of at a local Scotch bar, but try Macallan's or Macallan's. It's a 10-year-old. It's something like 90 bucks at the liquor store. I'm not going to go out and buy a bottle, so when we go out and have a drink, I'll drink a little bit more of an expensive scotch. A cheap pint of beer is $6, a cheap draft. You can spend $8 and get something really fancy that you can't afford. So that, all in all, these were all pretty good, but definitely Glenfiddich is a great place to start, and probably my favorite so far is the Auchentashan, but again, it's just too expensive to be drinking all the time. So what I recommend especially is to, if you are going to get into Scotch, try and find a buddy also, or a few friends. That makes it cheaper, but also it's nice to start with something that you like and then compare with that. So start with the Glenfiddich because it's cheap, keep it around, and then every time you introduce a new Scotch, compare it straight up. Even if you're just smelling the two, it's going to let you know what you like. It's going to make it easier to remember as well. So we've got a couple of videos coming up. We've been a little lackadaisical, but we're getting married in July, so we do have a lot going on. but probably the next couple of videos we're going to do are another tasting video. I found a delightful dandelion and burdock cola at the grocery store, so we're going to give that a try. It was on sale, surprise, believe it or not. And then maybe a grocery shopping hints and tips video for you as well, and just whatever else we can think of, or whatever else you suggest. So again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Looks like.
Why I oughta. Oh, hi there. I'll just go. Alright. No, that doesn't help. Alright. Can you give me my water bottle? Oh, I had to cut that one short.
Okay.
I gotta get rid of all these bottles. I'm really broke, so you know I need the $1.50, $1.60 worth of change. So I'm gonna hand them in.
You have to give it a little bit of a time. Otherwise, it's really difficult to edit.
I know, but I kind of like making it difficult to edit. Husband and wife together will be doing is maybe a shopping video. So grocery shopping, the how-tos for healthy and to save money. Tune in, subscribe, like us. Thanks.
You gotta leave the frame.
Didn't-
Do that